Hello everyone, so it is February 9th and I decided to do a reading vlog. Haven't done one in a while and I think it'd be perfect to read books by Black authors since it is Black History Month. I have a couple that I want to read and some more I want to look into. I want to look into some like horror mystery thriller books written by Black authors because I don't think I've read a lot. And those are books that I really like. So I have to do some research, go to the library, get some books. But for now, I'm currently reading Allegedly by Tiffany D. Jackson. I also have When They Call You a Terrorist, a Black Lives Matter memoir, Eloquent Rage, and Why I'm No Longer Talking to White People About Race. I'm not sure which one of those I'm going to read. It is currently 4 p.m. and I am on page 205 and I'm really enjoying it. So this is about Mary, who when she was 9, she killed I think a 3-month-old baby that her mother was babysitting, and she went to baby jail and now she's in a group home. And throughout the book, whenever someone brings up that she killed this baby, she always says allegedly, and they do cover like race in a sense because like when this baby died, everybody wanted her to get like jail time or executed, which she was only 9. And it's true. If it was a white girl that killed a black baby, people wouldn't have gone so hard on her. But since she's black and killed a white baby, people were outraged. But she keeps saying allegedly, but then later she's like, I didn't mean to throw her or something like that. But she keeps saying allegedly, and then sadly this girl gets pregnant. She's like 16, 15. And since she lives in a group home, they are saying that she has to give up the baby. And now she's saying like, I didn't even do it. She didn't kill her, the baby. And she's like, ask my mom. And so then now you're thinking, well, did she do it? Did she not do it? And then there's also like things that make her seem like she's mentally ill and may not remember that she did it. And so I want to read it to just find out like what actually happened that night when the baby died. Because you're like, did her mom do it and made her 9-year-old daughter take the fall? Or is she mentally ill and doesn't remember what happened? I don't know, but I'm really enjoying this. It is February 10th around 4 p.m. and I finished Allegedly by Tiffany D. Jackson. Overall, I give it like a 3.54 star rating. I really enjoyed it. I listened to the audiobook mostly, and it is a very like heartbreaking story at how much this girl goes through at such a young age. I would have liked a better ending in the sense I want to know more. I want to know what happens to her. Is she okay? Does she get to keep her baby? But overall, I did like it. This is the second book I read by her. The first one being Monday's Not Coming, and I liked that one also. That was also heartbreaking. Now I will be starting When They Call You a Terrorist, a Black Lives Matter memoir by Patrice Kahn-Cooler. I was reading my book, as you can see right there, but then this little one decided to cuddle. And I think that's more important. Gimli. You don't like me reading? Yeah. You're so cute. Yeah. I haven't read much of this book yet, and I'm learning a lot, and it's making me think, so that's why I haven't gotten a lot done. I have written some things down that I want to like look more into, like Emmett Till. I know that he was lynched, but I don't know much about him, so I want to learn more. And then this is the Ku Klux Klan bombers and how they killed 3 girls and like all these other names that I want to look into. And so it's going to be probably a long time for me to actually get through this. since I am reading this to learn and to become a better ally. This might sound very ignorant, and I don't mean to be offensive or anything like that. But I'm reading here, and she mentions the Black Panthers. And from what I remember from school, I always taught like they were bad. I'm gonna have to look that up after this and like educate myself on the Black Panthers, because now I'm afraid that they weren't actually bad and we were taught wrong, like many things. Just like how Black Lives Matter people were looked at as terrorists. Was that like the Black Panthers? Because then she mentions how to this day I have prayers and gratitude for the Black Panthers, who made breakfast for children a thing that schools should do. Because she was, starving and she was going hungry, and then this is what happened and saved her. They sound good. Now I'm very curious if was I taught wrong? So I'm still reading this book, and this little paragraph got me thinking a lot, because it says that when she was young, when she was going to high school, I think, her mom had a crappy car, and she made her drop her off farther away from the school, and that was the defining moment that she realized that they were poor. And it says, later as an adult, a friend will say to me, "Of course you felt that. Oppression is embarrassing," she will say quietly. "But in middle school, segregated as it is," so I guess it was middle school, "she will be segregated as it is between black and white kids, wealthy and poor kids. I don't know what to do with the feeling or the terrible question that encircles my 12-year-old soul. Am I supposed to be embarrassed about the people who nurtured me, who gave me to the world and gave the world to me?" Whole oppression is embarrassing is true and sad, because I think soon oppression turns into anger when you realize what is happening to you, because it's sad. It's you're being called out for something that you can't control, and people hate you or make fun of you for something you can't control, and especially at a young age, you don't really understand where it's coming from, or if you do, it's still embarrassing. So you try to hide it, you try to not stick out, and that's so sad. One that, people treat, other people different for something they can't control, and that is not bad at all. I hope as we get older, we can teach our kids better and not be oh, there's someone of a different background. Still treat them like a human being because they're a human being. Don't let them be embarrassed. Don't let them be ashamed, because you shouldn't be ashamed. So this girl basically lived two different lives, because she went to a gifted school, so people in her neighborhood didn't go to that school, and so she had the experience of being black in where she lives, and then being black in a gifted school. And so she was saying how we can behave in the same or very similar ways, but they are almost never punished the same way. So she was saying how in white schools, she witnessed a lot of drug use, even compared to her neighborhood schools, but yet neighbors went to school were policed. It says, "My neighborhood friends went to schools where no mass or even singular shootings occurred, but where police in full Kevlar patrolled the hallways, often with drug-sniffing dogs." And I think that's very true, because, if you look at the, prison records, a lot of, black people get arrested for drug use. But I know a lot of people, especially in high school, that did drugs and sell drugs. When I went to school, I could just walk down the hall and ask, "Hey, do you got weed? Do you got weed?" And I could get like that. That's why, people now are saying defund the police and all this, because the police system is very racist. They are even if police themselves aren't racist, because I do believe not all cops are racist and are bad, but the system in place that they were taught is racist. So they're okay, go to these schools, find drugs, and it's a predominantly black school. So they do it. But, white kids are just as likely to smoke and do drugs. if not more, because they know they can get away with it. At a very young age, this girl was taught that, you know. So she says, like, by the time Black Lives Matter is born, we not only know that we have been rendered disposable because of our lived experiences, which few listen to, but also from the data, and finally from those terrible viral images of Black girls being thrown brutally out of their seats by people who are called school safety officers for the crimes of having their phones out in the classroom. Monique Morris reporting tell us about the 12-year-old girl from Detroit who was threatened with both expulsion and criminal charges for writing the word "hi" on her locker door. And from another girl who was threatened with expulsion from her private school if she doesn't stop wearing her natural hair. Like the 12-year-olds. Yet people still don't understand. And for this author, it started when she turned 12 also. She said, that was the year that I learned that being Black and poor defined me more than being bright and hopeful and ready. That 12, the moment our grades and engagement as students seem to matter less than how we can be proven to be criminals, people to be arrested. Every time I plan on reading, my cat does something cute and I can't. I'm not getting up for a while until this cat does. After many hours of cuddling, I finally got up, so I'm going to read a few more pages of this, and then probably end the vlog. I haven't gotten far in this. I've been working a lot, and I've gotten to a new game called Valheim on Steam, and that takes a lot of my time, because I play it like 4 hours at a time a day, and so that was bad of me. But I did go to work the other day, and so I listened to Binti by Naneti Okafor. Probably butchering that, sorry. Because I wanted to give myself a break from reading like a heavy topic like this. I still wanted to read a book by a Black author. And this one was sci-fi, so I was like, I don't think I read any sci-fi books by a Black author, and if I did, I don't remember, because like I said, I usually don't unless they're like really popular. I really don't look at authors, which is bad at me. But this is it was a science fiction book. I gave it a 3-star because it's a novella, and usually I have a problem with novella because I want more, but this is a series. I only read the first book. So this one is about Binti, who is a teenage girl, and she boards a shuttle because she won a scholarship to Umza Uni. It's far across the galaxy to study mathematics. I have notes here because I wanted to make sure I don't forget anything, because I was listening to it, and so I couldn't bring out my phone because I was at work to like record my thoughts. So she's on the shuttle, and then it's like a war between two, like, I don't want to spoil it. So basically there's like, she gets involved in like a war and something like that, basically. But what I really liked about it is that she is from Namibia, probably butchering that, which is in the southern Africa. And she's there talking about how, like, even when the first time she got there, people were looking at her because of her hair and the clay, because it's a real place, and it's a real, like, heritage place where they put, like, clay on their bodies and in their hair. So they knew right away that where she was from. And she was the only person there from there. And she was saying how other people there were, like, sniffing her hair or, like, wanting to touch it and being like, oh, it doesn't smell. What I like is, like, even though it's sci-fi and it's, like, futuristic, she still wrote about, like, African culture in it. And that, like, even if things get more advanced, that this heritage, they keep it. Because it's, like, right now I know that it's very prideful and very important to them. Like, their culture and their heritage is very important for them. That's why when she went on this, they were shocked that, you know, because she's the only person, because leaving their land is unheard of, because they are so proud and they love it so much. And I think would be great in, like, the future. That's still a thing. Because, like, my fear is, like, we would get more advanced. We won't allow people to keep their culture, if that makes sense. So I thought that was new. That was pretty cool. And so I got to learn about it, because afterwards I was like, because I'd never heard of this, like the clay hair, because they have a word where I'll put it here. I'll put it like right here. I don't know how to say it, and I don't want to butcher it, but I did look it up and I was like, oh, okay, that's a real thing. I was, learning. So I like that this is a sci-fi, which I like, and it mixes with like learning. Like I learned new things, because like that's the point I want to of reading like Black Authors Month during Black History Month, because I'm very uneducated on this stuff. Like I didn't even know Bimbio was a real place, because I'm ignorant American over here. So I do want to educate myself, and I liked that I was able to do that even in a sci-fi book. And I think I will continue with this book. All the audiobooks are on my library app, but I'm going to read some of this and get back to you, and then probably end the vlog there. I'm like halfway through, and I'm going to stop my reading vlog here, but I want to give you my final thoughts on this book. It's not what I thought it was going to be like. Even I thought it was going to focus more on Black Lives Matter, but it more focuses on the author's life, which I don't mind. I'm still learning a lot, and it's sad how much she's been through, and what's awful about it is that 80% of her life, having a bad life, is just the fact that she's Black in America. And that's just really sad, because you really get to see what Black people go through. So it does make sense that she got Black Lives Matter together, because she knew at a very young age that cops abuse their power and that they're go after Black people. Because she would just be walking down the street, her and her brothers, and they would just get like yelled at and up against the wall, and they were checking to see if they have drugs. Or I already looked in like the last couple chapters. The last half of it is when she starts putting together Black Lives Matter, which I'm very curious about how she went about doing it, and like what was the final straw in her thinking. That's it for this reading vlog. Like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.